Good morning. I greet you. My name is Pastor Maxie Johnson, School Board Trustee for Dallas ISD District 5. Today we're here to do the renaming or name of W.W. Bushman. What we're getting ready to do is remarkable in this area. A $31 million school for our black and brown community. I want to thank Dr. Hinojosa, the superintendent of Dallas ISD, my colleagues on the board of trustees for their support. This school is going to be a STEAM school: science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful school right here. What we're going to do with the existing Elijah M. Pease building is turn into a pre-K center for struggling parents that may not be able to afford daycare. We're going to look after this community. And this is something that we promised when we first became the school board trustee: advocate for equity in our community. At this time, I'm presenting to you and bring forth the superintendent of Dallas Independent School District, Dr. Hinojosa.
Thank you, Trustee Johnson, and thank you all for being here. It's a great day in Dallas. We have an opportunity to rename a school after a community leader who has been a big supporter of mine during both Hinojosa 1.0 and 2.0. And so we've got the big crowd here. A lot of times we forget to thank the community for the votes to help us with the art of the possible. And when you see this new school a couple of years from now, in this community, it's going to help transform this community. And it's named after a community icon. And I'm sure glad Dr. Blackburn is here also, because he helped us many years ago and get this vision started. And so I just want to thank you all for being here. Let's proceed with the program. Thank you.
This young man I'm getting ready to introduce needs no introduction, but he was my former band teacher. He served this community for 18 years. And I will be remiss not to have him here to stand with me today. And so at this time, I want to introduce again and present Dr. Lou Blackburn.
Good morning. It's good to be back. It's good to stand with my friend Albert C. Black. I was going to call his middle name, but that's okay. His grandkids are here, so we'll leave that alone. It's always good to come back to this school, one of my favorite schools to visit. When I was trustee for District 5, we started with the board in 2002, I think, 2001. We had the 2002 bond under the guidance of Dr. Moses. He's here somewhere. And then the 2008 bond, and then the 2015 bond. And this project probably started on the 2015 bond. I'm happy that Trustee Maxie Johnson is carrying the baton and taking this bond program and this school to the next level. Thank you.
Prior to me becoming the school board trustee, there was a host of community meetings surrounding this project. And at this time, I'm asking Minister Dominique Alexander to come to have words as well.
I'm going to start off with a quote from Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Until we get a quality education, we won't have equal society. As a child who grew up in this community, my mother went to this school, I went to this school, graduated 6th grade. No matter what I do in our community, one of the communities that I want to do the most impact is where I'm from. Born and raised here. My first job was given to me by the Boys and Girls Club that shares the back fence with this school. A couple of years ago, I had the honor of meeting Mr. Black, his wonderful wife, Albert the third and the fourth, and Oliver, and Cora. A beautiful family. In our community, most times we don't even know the name of the individual at the school. And I am so glad that I'll be able to tell my children that I know Albert Black, that bears the name of this school in our community. Thank you for your accomplishments. Thank you for your sacrifice, and job well done.
Many years ago, I said that like I'm old, but I'm not. A few years back, there was a protest. My son David is here. David is the young man that woke me up. He did a protest and walked out of South Oak Cliff because they was advocating for equity, safe learning environment, transparency and accountability. And he's here from college. And he don't want to say anything, but I want to acknowledge him because if it wasn't for my son waking me up and helping me understand where I need to be, I don't think I'll be standing before you today. So I give honor to my son who helped his father. And it's very emotional for me. I'm a fighter. I'm an advocate for this community. Many of you know me. I pastored many years in this community. And to be able to have the honor, once again, to name a school after an African-American male who's done so much for our community. This is what equity looks like. Albert Black was born in Fraser Court's housing projects. Grew up in a big family. Some of his family is here. I know some of them. He has given a lot to this community. Mr. Black was the first African-American chairman of the Dallas Regional Chamber and Baylor Healthcare System. He's hired many people in this community. He's hired many of our children and helped them. So it is an honor, once again, and a privilege for me to be the trustee that's bringing this to this community. And I'm asking everyone to put our hands together as we celebrate Mr. Albert Black.
Thank you so much. It's an incredible honor. I am humbled. I'm seldom short on words, but when my son Oliver stood on Easter Day with a champagne glass in his hand to give a toast to his dad. We're toasting fools at my home, and so I thought it was just another opportunity for him to have a drink. But he says, now's the time, Dad, that we're gonna let you in on the secret we've been working on for months. And that is there's gonna be a brand new school built, a STEM academy, elementary school, a launching pad for leaders in the future. And they want to bear your name, Albert C. Black. Of course, I immediately thought of my father and how fortunate I was to have a father. When Gweneth and I think about growing up in Fraser Courts, we can't think of dads. But Mr. Black was a dad for everyone. And so we've always tried to do him proud. I want to thank a number of people, and I want to start with Dr. Hinojosa. Thank you so much. I saw Dr. Mike Moses. When I see superintendents, whether they're current or previous, I'm always thinking that they're coming to perhaps reclaim the diploma I received from W.W. Samuel High School. Don't do it. Don't call Linus Wright because he signed it. Don't do that. I want to thank the dedicated school board, including the sponsoring trustee, Maxie Johnson, who worked on this project. I consider him a friend now, and I'll consider him a friend for life. Thank you so much, Trustee Johnson. A friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, Earl Nye, says when you go down a country road and you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know it didn't get there by itself. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm that turtle. And this is a fence post. And today I'm on top of it. And I'm letting you know now, I didn't get there by myself. I've got an extraordinary wife. I don't know where Gwinnett is, but I hope she didn't leave me. That wouldn't be good. You know, I've got 3 children. Oliver, I've got Trey, I've got Cora. They're all here today. 2 gorgeous grandchildren. I've got Olivia Vaughn, and I've got Albert Curtis. They are just extraordinary grandchildren. I am a blessed, blessed grandfather. My sister Cherry is here. My sister Vicky is here. I wish my sister Patty could have made it from Houston, or my sister Tony could have made it here, but they didn't. They wanted to be here, they just couldn't come. You know, in Dallas, I've had an incredible, incredible career. People ask me, they ask me all the time, how could you build a business out of Frazier Courts to go on to become a multi-state business, hiring hundreds of people currently and thousands over the years? And I've said, how could I not? I've got friends like Omega Men here that years and years ago I would make deliveries or show up to cut their yards, and they hadn't even asked me to do so. I would get that done, provide the service or deliver the supplies, and then leave them a bill at their front door. How can you fail when you've got that kind of support? How can you fail when you've got the support of friends like John Castles, that was one of the first board members for our company, that somehow, some way makes it to every important event that my family has? How can you fail? How can you fail when you've got people like Pete Deitzer behind you? How can you fail? Anything my family needs, Dr. Deitzer is there to make sure that we've got it. How can you fail? With extraordinary leaders like Jim Hinton over Baylor Scott and White Healthcare System, that I have an opportunity and the privilege to serve on their board. How can you fail with people like John Crusoe, who I've served as treasurer for over 23 years? Judge Crusoe is here now as our district attorney. How can you fail with friends like that? How can you fail with friends that went to John B. Hood and then going on to Samuel High School with me, like Judge Dale Tillery? Judge Tillery is here today. How can you fail with people like that? You got one guy here that could put me in jail and the other guy that could prosecute me, that could sentence me. How can you fail with extraordinary daughter-in-laws like Dee Dee and like Lauren? How can you fail? How can you fail when you've got my brother's children is here? LaWanda, she's here. You've got people like Patty's children. You've got Kimberly, she's here. You can't. You just can't really fail. You know, my civic and business career has been one that people dream of. It's because this community has held me up and pushed me forward. You've led me, you've tolerated me, you love me. That's how I know that we could succeed at those things that we tried together. And together is the key word there. One day, there will be a new building. And this will be an extraordinary $31 million endeavor, and it'll be a STEM academy. And we'll all celebrate it as a launching pad for future leaders. In the leadership will be business people also. Dallas has been short on producing African-American business leaders. But in the future, that won't be the case. It'll be a STEM academy, but we're going to try our best on one curriculum matter here. And Dr. Hinojosa, your principal, and your other leaders will not have to bother, we won't bother them again. But it'll be just one thing we'll ask for, and that will be for there be a curriculum on young entrepreneurship, because we have to produce more kids that can contribute to the economy of their home before they quit school. Because what we found in our company, that if you can contribute to the economy of school, of your family, if you're a poor child, well then the chances of you staying in school goes up exponentially. And so we've had so many internships at On Target Supplies and Logistics for that particular purpose. And I'll leave by saying I would be able to do none of this if it wasn't for the women and men of On Target Supplies and Logistics. You see, when I was out volunteering, they were making sure the trains ran on time. They were making sure that things went right so that I can be in other venues trying my best to contribute so those things could go right. So again, I say thank you, Trustee Johnson, for sponsoring this. Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa. Thank you, Dominique, because I know you worked so hard on it. Thank you, Dr. Lou Blackburn, my fraternity brother. Thank you, and I appreciate the honor, and I'll do everything that I can to make sure that the honor that you're bestowing on me today is always seen in the same light, whether it be today, tomorrow, or in the future. Thank you so much.
We're almost done. I want to reiterate that this school is going to be a blessing to this community. $31 million STEAM, science, technology, engineer, arts, and math. And we're going to have a focus on financial literacy. There are two awesome African-American women that lead this community. Ms. Knight, the principal, the current principal at W.W. Bushman, and Ms. Zachary, the principal, current principal at Elijah M. Pease. Without their expertise, their excellence, and their push to make all of our kids great, this community wouldn't be thriving. So I want to give a round of applause to some strong African-American sisters that's making it happen over here in District 5. Before we leave, I saw Mayor Rollins come, and I want to ask him to come and have brief words, and then we will be dismissing. Thank you. The fire truck has to get out. There are two people blocking. Could you please remove your cars? Thank you.
Well, thank you for the surprise. Let me tell you, I drove over from my office to give honor to two things. First of all, the work that the Board of Trustees is doing to make our school system so much better. The work, God bless you for this. I mean, it is making our city so much better. And then where's my friend? There he is. I give honor to the Black family, and at the head of that is Albert. Albert is a man of his family. He's a man of the people. He is a wise man, and he's a good man. And it is right that the board is honoring him in this way, so young men and women will grow up and say, tell me about Mr. Black. And you can talk about the example that he has set for this city and for those students. I'm humbled that Trey called me and just said, would you show up because this man is good. Thank you very much for letting me have part of this. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank Mr. Black and his family for accepting this honor. Thank both of our principals, Ms. Knight and Ms. Zachary, for their hard work in this community. Thank Dr. Hinojosa for everything he's doing. He's doing a remarkable job, not just in District 5, but in the Dallas Independent School District altogether. And we wouldn't be here without his leadership. So thank you, Dr. Hinojosa. And this concludes our program for today. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we're here to answer any questions too for the media.